So one thing I'm not afraid of admitting as a Kenyan, and in the spirit of Reject Finance Bill 2024, is that the government has capitalized on the fact that Kenyans do not understand CBC, number one, to get into power. Second of all, to still continue using that fact to make sure that they are not implementing CBC. And three, to even ruin whatever little is left of CBC implementation, especially at junior school. Now, work with me to understand this. So, when UDA was campaigning and saying that they want to get into power, the song that they knew Kenyans will accept was that vote for us so that we can remove CBC once, we are in power, knowing very well everybody in the curriculum space and in government will tell you that scrapping off a curriculum is as impossible, as removing the Constitution of Kenya. So they knew CBC was going nowhere. Now, to manage Kenyans' expectations, they had appointed the task force. And the task force, by the way, comprises the most respected education sector professionals in this country. And they put together very good recommendations on where we need to move forward to. So where is the implementation of the task force report to this point? We'll talk about that next. Now, how is the government still continuing to use the fact that Kenyans do not understand CBC to continue ruining its implementation? Let's talk about the junior secondary school. I know most Kenyans do not even know that the junior secondary school is a school on its own. It's not primary school, it's not senior school. It is a school on its own. Therefore, it needs to have its own structures, its own teachers. Now, do you know what's happening in junior school at the moment? Our children in grade 7 and 8 in public education are rarely being taught. They have no teachers, they have no facilities, and even the few teacher interns who are employed have actually been retrenched. Okay, they have been laid off. The other day, you saw them demonstrating, and they had no support from anybody. The teacher unions, they are not supporting this. So what is happening at the moment is that as we continue bickering, okay, our children are not learning. And when we talk about grade 7 and 8, we are talking about, now when we talk about learners in CBC, we are talking about over 16 million learners in this country. If Kenya has a population of over 52 million, 16 million of those are school-going children under the CBC curriculum who are not being taught, especially those in junior secondary school. So in essence, we are going nowhere as a country, because if the most vulnerable amongst us, the children, we are even fighting children by laying off their teachers. We are fighting children by not putting the conversation about CBC implementation at the center of these, budget allocations. Okay. Now, I know CBC is a very emotive issue, but I can tell you for a fact that there is no problem with CBC, the curriculum. There is a problem with CBC, the implementation bit of it, okay? And now when we talk about the implementation bit of CBC, what are we talking about? We are talking about employing teachers, we are talking about infrastructure, okay? Employing teachers and infrastructure comes from budget. Who gives budget? It's the National Assembly, it is the government. So in essence, when we keep blaming Ministry of Education and its agencies for not implementing CBC, we are putting the blame with the wrong person. Because if TSC is given the money, why will it not employ teachers? If MOE is given the money, why will it not build and put up infrastructure for CBC? Okay? So who is ruining CBC implementation? It is the political class of this country. And they continue capitalizing on the fact that Kenyans do not understand to continue doing whatever it is that they wish and not being held accountable. And as they are doing this, if you look at social media lately, you see politicians celebrating their children who are graduating from international schools. They have taken their children to international schools, and all the children, of the Republic of Kenya under public education still are not being taught. We need to be serious. So reject finance bill, reject finance bill. I'm going to continue to educate you about CBC here. Okay? Thank you.